Welcome to Beyond the Huddle, the Central Arkansas FCA podcast where faith meets competition. I'm your host, Zach Rose. My co-host, Josh Hines, is back in here today. We're rocking and rolling, and we've got a very special guest on here today that we're excited. She hits close to home.
For some of us.
For some of us, more than others, but we're excited to have her in here today. And if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you're watching the video version of this, you may notice that we're in some different scenery today.
Yeah, it's nice.
We've got a little upgrade in here, and so we're excited to continue to roll through with some good episodes in the future. And if you're not watching, if you're listening, you need to watch because you're missing a lot if you're not watching.
Watch while you listen.
Yes, watch while you listen.
Whistle while you work.
Yeah. Got anything for us today?
Man, it is cool. Like you said, we do have a special guest. I mean, it's kind of special. It's I've known this person her entire life.
Mm.
I was about to say my life, but I'm quite a bit older, 5 years older. So this is my baby sister.
Yes.
Brittany Nicole Hines Hoover, if we're gonna get it all
Never
out
told
there.
anybody my middle
She helps
name
out
before.
there with us, and so now they know. And so I'm glad to be here with her today and do ministry with her at school. We'll talk about that as we go. And God is good.
Absolutely.
Amen.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to have you here today.
I'm excited to be here.
Want to just dive right into your story. For those who don't know you and your upbringing and your heart for ministry, and you're not in full-time ministry, is that correct?
That's correct.
But using the opportunities that the Lord has given you to pursue the ministry that he's called all of us to.
Mm-hmm.
So would you mind just sharing a little bit about what you do for work, and then a little bit about kind of your upbringing, your heart for ministry, when you gave your life to Jesus, those kind of things from early on age?
So I feel like as pastors' kids, the moment we step into the earth or come into the earth, we are called into ministry, even if we don't want to be called into ministry.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's just always a part of like our thoughts and stuff. So I was saved at church camp. Maybe I was 7 or 8, maybe.
I'm glad she didn't say 6 or 7.
I was gonna, but I didn't. I didn't want to do that.
She thought about it.
Thank you.
So, yeah, always serving, always in a Sunday school, watching the nursery, stuff like that. I think I was like 10, 11, or 12 when I started singing at church. Well, no, I was singing earlier than that, but like on the worship team,
Playing
the
yeah.
piano. I don't do that anymore.
There's a reason.
No,
Just kidding.
I
I'm
just
just kidding.
if it's needed, I'll do it, but I don't choose to do it. But I was always sorry. I was always on a worship team since my dad was a pastor, and then youth sponsor.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Got married, moved to Miami in 2014. Had no clue what that was going to hold
So
for us.
from Arkansas to Miami,
Yeah.
Florida.
Yeah.
All right.
From
Yes.
Cabot,
From Cabot, Arkansas
Yes.
to Miami, Florida.
My country husband and I
Wow.
Bless his heart.
ran off to the big city.
That's awesome.
So there was a good reason we were there. His oldest son was there for a little bit, so we wanted to be closer to
Okay.
him. So we got there. We got involved with the church. Wasn't planning on jumping into ministry there just because we were newly married and we wanted to kind of get settled first, but we jumped into ministry there. We served in almost every area. I became the worship leader not long after we had been there, and I think I served as the worship leader for 3.5 years. And then I did youth worship too. We were youth sponsors. We served in kids' church when it was needed. My husband did Royal Rangers.
Let's go.
'Cause he's a
Yeah.
Yes.
country boy.
I've got my Royal Rangers vest with all my badges. That's
He's
like
a
an
PK as well.
extra small.
nice.
Yeah, it's extra small somewhere way back in my closet somewhere.
Still got
But
that, huh? You still got
yeah.
your badges?
I got
on?
my weather badge
Oh,
and I got so many badges. Yeah,
Bro.
it's a whole
Nice.
thing.
We
Yeah.
should teach
Sorry.
We should. You know how we do FCA day camps? We should do it.
Royal Rangers.
What's the girl one called?
Missionettes.
Missionettes, okay,
Yes.
I
Oh
don't-
man.
we didn't have enough girls to do missionettes, but we try. We didn't have enough girls there.
That's
So
awesome.
y'all raised some tomboys.
Yeah. So yeah, he did sound for church.
Yep.
So that was fun because we actually like kind of worked together.
He was also a PK.
Yeah, he's a PK
Okay,
too. So
okay.
yeah.
We just got it all.
Yeah. So and then we moved back here in 2019, and first Wednesday I came to church because he was preaching. Like we got back on a Monday or Tuesday. I came to church Wednesday night, and we're standing in there, and our pastor, he's like, "So when are you going to start singing on the worship team?" And I was like, "Can I unpack first?"
No, you cannot.
So I think I might have been scheduled 2 weeks later. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
So what was that transition like just for, I mean, I could imagine that had to be quite a significant change going from Arkansas to Florida, especially in a
mhm.
place like Miami. I've never been to Miami, but I
Right.
could imagine it's a little bit different than Cabot.
It's very different.
How was that dynamic of switching gears, but still wanting to be obedient to the Lord, serving in church, and just everything that comes with a big change like that? How was that process?
It was kind of nerve-wracking, like very nervous, but I'm a very people person. Like I'm a hairdresser for full-time job. So I talk to people all the
You
time.
do your own hair?
Yeah, actually sometimes, yeah.
Nice.
But most of the time my friend does it.
Does she do your hair? Oh,
It's fine.
ooh,
It's
sore
No,
subject.
No,
Ooh.
I told him to go somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm very, yeah, kind of like renting to family. It's one of
Sure.
those picky things with my hair.
Yeah.
I don't like doing army
Understand.
people hair. No.
Yeah.
I'm not in the Army anymore.
Well, it used to be, so
Still got that fade though.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Mm-mm.
my bad. This is your story, not mine.
it's fine. It collaborates though, because
Yeah.
we're bros and
Stop.
sisters.
Yeah.
Collaborate.
But it was more, I guess for my husband, he was more like out of his element.
Hmm.
I feel like I can go somewhere and just relate to people somehow, some way.
Runs in the family.
Yeah. And so we balance each other well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure learning some of those people skills, and that's what I had to learn. That same thing when I moved to Arkansas a couple years ago, was like, okay, I'm starting over again. This kind of idea of, I think about when you're a little kid and you're in kindergarten and you're making friends for the first time, there's this whole process of like, well, what do you like? And what do you like? It's like, oh, we like the same things. Let's be friends.
Yeah.
And I think when you get older, it's almost a little bit more difficult of a process, because we get in our own way of like, it is simple to just make friends and find
Mhm.
commonalities with people, but we make it so difficult and hard sometimes. At least I do
Mhm.
sometimes. But I'm sure that was a big change
Mhm.
for you guys, but also probably grew you in a lot of
Mhm.
ways too, where you aren't the same person that came there as you were when you left
Mhm.
there to come back to Arkansas too. That's really
Right.
cool. Yeah.
I think it
Um,
was cool chasing your kiddos. It shows that you love family. You put family first and the
Mhm.
church second. Because being pastors' kids, so many times we put the church first.
Yeah.
And so showing that, setting that precedence, I've seen even over the years, Michael, your husband, and his son's relationship grow, which allowed our relationship to grow with their family. And I really believe going to Miami, as country boy as my brother-in-law is, it was a good thing for him.
Yeah.
And to come back and serve like at church beforehand, he's always willing behind the scenes to do things. He's very handsy. He's very hands-on, very good mechanically. But like, he's an usher. He's on our serve team. He's on our security team. If we had a cowboy team, he'd be on our cowboy team. They host they host
Yeah.
missions at their house through a missionary at our
Yeah,
church.
we have a ministry that we host on our property called Thousand Hills Beef Project. And Leroy, the guy who founded it, we met him through church, and he was a cowboy. So Michael was like, let me be friends with him.
Yeah.
BFF.
And he wanted to launch this ministry here in Arkansas. And we were looking at buying houses and nothing was panning out. It was 2021. The market was crazy. It was so competitive. You couldn't find anything without paying like, out of the water competing.
Yeah.
So my friend that I work with was like, hey, why don't you buy our house? And I kind of laughed because like I knew she lived on property and had
Mhm.
horses and stuff.
And a nice
And-
shop.
And yeah, and she was like, well, let's just go to lunch and talk about it. Because we had just given up. We had just looked at a house and was like, we're done. We're going to wait till this flip flops because it's too much.
Yeah.
And the next day we went to lunch and she was like, well, we'll sell it to you for such and such. And I was like,
which is like way cheaper than rent.
which was our pre-approval number. And like, she didn't know, we didn't talk numbers.
Yeah, man,
and so we talked to Leroy. He was like, oh shoot, we could just start out there. And we were like, yes, absolutely. So we host them. And what he does is we raise cattle, and when they are ready to be turned into cheeseburgers,
that's a nice way of saying it.
he donates meat to foster families
Okay.
through the call in Lonoke County.
Very
So,
cool.
Yeah,
Very
I think I
awesome.
briefly mentioned that one segment on the show, but dude, it's huge.
Yeah.
And like, cool story with that. I was at a friend's house because she was moving and saying bye to her neighbors. So they were having to get together. And one of her neighbors was talking about being a foster mom. I was like, oh, are you involved with the call? And she was like, yes. And I was like, do you get meat from them? And she was like, yeah. I was like, they're at my house.
That's
like,
so
we
cool.
have those.
We're at your house.
So we're. at
Wow.
house.
But that's cool. But
Yeah.
just the heart to serve and man, do God's work in everything we do. And I know that's their heart. So
Yeah. That's very cool. I know for pastors' kids, and Josh Adair, if he was here, he could also resonate with this. But sometimes there's a pressure growing up. I don't know if you guys felt that. I went to a private school connected to the church that my dad was a pastor at. So there was also some added, like, we really know who your dad is and all that stuff. But I'm sure, and I guess we can talk about that for just a minute, of being a pastor's kid growing up in ministry settings, but also learning to have your own faith. And that was a journey that I went through myself, of realizing, you know what, I have to make this decision for myself. Thankfully, I grew up in a home where the ministry was healthy. My parents set an incredible example for me. My dad set an incredible example for me in ministry. But how was that for you in your journey to say, you know what, like, I want in on some of that. Like, I want to expand in the ministry myself, not just to be an extension of my parents' ministry, but I want to pursue that with my life too, in whatever that you do.
took her a while.
Well, because I did not want to do that.
No, absolutely.
Not that I didn't think that I would never like be in church or not serving somewhere, but I was just like, I saw all the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. And there's a lot of ugly.
Sure.
And like, as kids, I don't know about y'all, but I always felt like I had to uphold a relationship with God that met my parents' standards. And I didn't understand like having an intimate relationship with God as my God, not as, you know, the example that was set. So when I moved out on my own, when I was like 21, I started like reading my Bible by myself and doing that kind of stuff by myself. And it was a freedom, like a freeing relationship with God. And that's where it's so good. Like, it's nothing but yours. So
I speak about it a lot. Wednesday night, we had youth last night, and I speak about it a lot with our students. The want to and the need to are separate things. Like, I need water, I want coffee. God wants us to want him. We all know we need him, but when your whole life it's church at this time, church at this time. Oh, we're having revival? Cool. 3 weeks in a row. Sweet. I guess I'm going to church every night of the week. It's a have to. But when you have that free will, especially at 20, 21 years old, where you want to spend time with God, I think it's a way bigger testimony than being like, yeah, I grew up pastor's kid. That's cool. I was in church every Sunday. Well, yeah, because you had to be there. So that want to was great. I loved it.
Yeah, definitely.
Watching that transition.
But it did take me moving out of my home.
And it's not because it was bad.
Right.
It was just that.
I needed that.
It goes from voluntold to volunteer.
Exactly.
There is a difference.
She was
in
also
those
the
things.
baby and a girl. So she was at home a little bit by herself, because as soon as I turned it, I bought a house. So she was kind of there for 5 years by herself as the only kid. So I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it didn't get any better with us being gone. I'm just not a bad
it's a
thing.
lot quieter.
Definitely.
A lot quieter.
I had my own bathroom. That was great.
That is a blessing. As a younger sibling, I can understand
Especially
that.
being a younger sister.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I want to dive in with what you're saying about stepping into your own faith and talk about kind of what you do and how you serve with us in Central Arkansas FCA. want to, number one, can you just share a little bit about what you do, the areas that you serve specifically, and then we can kind of go from there and ask you some more questions on that.
So I get to meet with the softball team at Cabot, and they are incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Those girls are amazing.
He's had some on here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I know I couldn't come that day. I was so upset, but I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this episode or watching this episode, we have had some of the wonderful Cabot softball team and the other Miss Brittany on here.
I'm the other Miss
Yes.
Brittany. She's
the
OG.
Yes. OG and other.
Yeah.
We had OG Miss Brittany on here, and that was a really, really encouraging episode. I would encourage you, after you finish listening to this episode, go take a listen to that, because those students, those girls, there is a tangible sense of what the Lord's doing in and through their lives. And
they love their Brittany's.
Absolutely.
They do.
Absolutely. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the
they
theory.
Won't forget our name.
That's right.
I will say I had to fill in for y'all last week. Yeah, I don't ever do that again. Y'all set a different precedent.
It's because your name is not Brittany.
Yeah, that is true. But want to kind of dive into that a little bit deeper. I know we've talked about it some on this show already, but from your perspective, number one, why do you want to get involved with a ministry like FCA, specifically with the Cabot softball team? What was your heart behind that? Besides the fact that your brother is slightly involved with FCA, but what did that process look like for you?
Well,
go back to your vision and your dream and start from there.
Okay. So,
because he don't know it. So.
Okay, after I graduated high school,
But you grew up playing basketball, baseball, all the things.
Okay.
I played softball, basketball, volleyball. I still play softball. We still play softball together, actually. Boom. I think we won, right?
That's all we do is win.
So I would have this reoccurring dream. And I mean, I thought I was being haunted by my high school past. It's like I couldn't make it to my class on time. I was looking at my schedule. I didn't know where my classes were. And I was just like in the campus, just walking around the campus. And every week I would have this dream. And I was never the person that was like, I'm getting out of this town. I hate this town. No, I liked it. I loved school. I didn't love academics, but I loved school because I like to be personal with people. I love people. And so I loved it. And I was just like, oh gosh, there's that dream again, haunting me. Gonna be late to class again. I was late to class. But I got involved with Josh. He was getting more and more involved. And I was like, so what do y'all do? And he was just kind of telling me about it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I kind of feel like I'm in the season where this is not all God has for me, and there's something different and something more out there. And if you ever feel like you need a woman, because I know sometimes there's not that many.
It was awkward last week for me in softball.
Yeah, there's not very many of those sometimes that'll step up into ministry. I was like, if you ever need a woman, a female to go help with something, just let me know. And he was like, okay, well, that's cool, but we don't have any positions available. I was like, I'll volunteer. Like, I didn't know that there was like paid people and all that. I was like, I had no clue. I'm just here for the people. So I don't even know how we set up me meeting with Brittany and getting that, but
I was group text.
I was available. I think softball needed.
We were doing baseball and softball together.
Okay.
And it was fine. But when the guys would leave, the girls were like, hey, we want our own thing. And so they wanted to expand.
All right.
And so Brittany Webb, her husband's on staff, and was like, hey, I think we can run with this. Well, then she's been doing other huddles. And the more huddles that we do, the more huddles we're less involved in because we train and equip and develop. Yeah. And so then it was like, hey, my sister is an old travel softball player. She played at Cabot. How about we get her plugged in? So, and then you just got with Brittany. Group text.
Yeah. And I started going, and they're great. Last year, I wasn't there a lot because of all the stuff we had to do. But
so the vision and dream started and got you where?
Oh, yeah. We went to all sports, the FCA all sports in the high school.
That's right.
And we were walking out of the library, and I looked to my left, and there's like a door in the courtyard and sidewalks to other. And I was like, deja vu. I was like, oh my gosh, here I am.
Yeah.
Like the dream I've been having. I'm walking on my high school campus.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, it just like resonated with me and hit me. And I think I was really quiet that day because I was just like soaking it in.
Yeah.
And it was just, and I haven't had a dream again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So for the listeners, just for some clarification, FCA has many different realms in which we pursue ministry on campus. Number one, I just want to affirm something here. We need female leaders on our campuses. Like, Amen. When I talk about a need that we have, it's for more female leaders on campus because, yes, as men, we're happy to pursue whatever avenues that we can, but there's something to be said for when a man is talking to some guys and a woman is talking to some girls, there like is just a little bit more intimacy and vulnerability that comes from being able to do that. We have all seen that firsthand. And we have a ton, just as many female teams as there are male teams. So if that's you listening and you say, man, similarly to Brittany, I have just a heart and a desire to get involved. We would love to talk to you and get you connected somewhere on our campus. And you can reach out to us on our website, on our social medias. It's caefca.org or Central Arkansas East FCA on Instagram or Facebook. We would love to get you connected to a huddle or a group and get you on campus because there is ministry available for our female team. So just want to plug that real quick.
And last week we talked about huddles and how to get them going and
absolutely.
If you're involved in the community. So that's like, here we are.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Kind of answering our question from last
Definitely.
week.
Yeah. So that's such a full circle event. You coming from the dream to then being on campus, seeing the all sports huddle. Again, another part of that avenue is we do have all sports huddles that meet during club time, usually at most schools. So during the school day, ministry is happening on your public school campuses. I know, mind blowing, crazy. I didn't understand that fully until I joined FCA staff and was like, this is crazy that we have so much access here. Even further than that, being able to pursue individually with teams, just like the softball team. I know there's been a huge wide open door with the softball team in Cabot. Would you mind maybe just sharing as you got started with the softball team? Number one, how long have you been serving with the softball team? And two, what keeps you coming back every week? What drives you to that?
And you serve more than just softball. So talk about the other things you show up to as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So softball, I think it's been about a year. I think it was like February of last year that I started, and it was right during their preseason. And from last year to this year, the girls were really quiet last year and like wouldn't step up and lead. And like this year, we haven't even like we've led one or two times. And one time me and Webb like showed up to lead because we hadn't had anyone volunteer. And two girls were like, oh no, we're doing it. And we're like, awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. So they've been awesome. And I'm going to keep going back because they're awesome. Yeah. And I like them and I'm building relationships with them. And I want to get to know them more and know all of their names in my head without looking at them and having to see their face,
Yeah.
So
definitely. I think that's so important for what we do is we want to be doers and goers for lack of a better saying there, but we want to be able to go and step into spaces to share the gospel and present the gospel. But even more than that, we're called to make disciples, which means that we're called to build relationships with the people that we're around. And I know for me as a former high school student, as someone who has been in those shoes before, all of us have been there, that those relationships with those who are just a little bit older than us, who have seen a little bit more life than us, are so important, especially for young athletes and their development, not just on the field, on the court, but off the field and off the court, of having someone who would say, you know what? Yes, I want to show up every single week and just build a relationship with you. That's my heart's desire. I have seen like exponentially more development, I'll say is a better word, because I believe that the Lord can move through your heart regardless of the avenue we're pursuing. But so much more development in our young athletes when we've been able to step into those spaces and say, you know what, we just desire to have a relationship with you. We're not here to force anything on you. We want to present what we believe, and we want to present the goodness of who God is and what his word says. But we also desire to live in that too and walk in that with you. Has there been any kind of story from this last year serving with the softball team or any of the ministry you've done with FCA that is one of those stories where you just say, man, this is kind of what drives me. This is the reason why we do this, because I want to keep coming back and keep showing up.
Yeah. So there's a girl on the softball team that comes to our youth group sometimes, and I don't think she realized that we were at the same church, but then it clicked, and she'd be like, oh, hey, Miss Brittany. And I'm like, hey. And then she brought 2 girls with her the next week, and she was like, hey, Miss Brittany. And I was like, okay. So, I mean, she's great.
That's what we say, FCA. Our goal is, if you're not in a church, we want to get you plugged into a church. And it's with relationships. If there's teammates on your team that go to a church, we want to get you plugged in where you want to go. And if we just happen to be there and we attend a church and they want to try it out, of course, like, we're not going to say no to the kingdom of God.
Right. And
so it's kind of awesome getting them plugged in. Man.
Yeah. And those other girls do go to church somewhere. And so another Wednesday, she wasn't there, and I checked on her. She was like, oh, I was with so-and-so because they were with me last week.
That's where she goes.
I was like, I love that.
That's what it's all about.
As a team, love Jesus and serve Jesus together and be stronger together.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a process too of, I've noticed that I was helping out with a team recently, had a youth pastor who served faithfully every single week, week in and week out, who was there and who was present. And I realized that the walls of building relationships started to fall down as we showed up every single week. It wasn't anything that we were even specifically doing. Sometimes it's just the bland, like, hey, here I am again. I'm like, present, I'm hanging out. But the power in the ministry of just being present is so crazy sometimes, because all of a sudden, next thing you know, oh yeah, I saw you at church. Like, wait, you go to my church and all this and all that. And it turns into a deeper connection that allows you to then be able to speak into their lives and specific situations that are happening, and allows them to kind of put their guard down and say, you know what, I have been struggling with these things, or you know what, I am curious about what you're talking about. I've been trying to figure out what's all going on in this world, and what I can hope in, and what I can lean on when I'm struggling. That's so cool. I love the different avenues we get to pursue those athletes. When you're in your huddle time with them, what are some of the things that it sounds like there's a lot of girls who are sharing themselves. So student leadership within that huddle, which is incredible.
That's our goal.
Yeah, that's our goal for most every huddles. We want to empower the students to do the ministry, because they're going to be 10 times more impactful and have more ability to speak into their friends' lives than we may have. But what are some things that you guys have shared that you've been consistently trying to pour into their lives to encourage them and lift them up? What are some of the themes of kind of how you pursue relationships with them and what you're sharing with them on a weekly basis?
So one of the girls led, and they just wanted to talk about like being vulnerable and talk about things that they were going through. And that one hit me, because like hearing those girls talk about stuff they're going through and just their heart, and like them sharing with each other and being to relate each other and work through it together. I mean, I was just like, if I had this on my softball team when I was that age, like, wow. Yeah. It would have been awesome. Yeah. But a lot of girls and maybe boys in this age, I don't know, don't really know their self-worth. They don't know, like, or they don't comprehend that God has made them in his own image, and that they are masterpieces, and like he chose us. Yeah. Like we are like, God. Yeah. And he created us with his own hands, and just And I don't think people comprehend that, because a lot of people are like, oh, I was an accident. No, you weren't. Like, no, God got you here.
Like even last Wednesday or last Friday, any chance I get, I say it. Any chance in front of the students, hey, God saw the world was void, empty without you. On the count of three, say your name. 1, 2, 3, boom. Yeah, God needed you in it to make it complete. God who created the heavens and the earth saw that this world was incomplete without you. And man, you just see these guys and they're like, they would light up. And I've never seen as many people as we saw Friday. And it was cool because it was set up different. It wasn't like chairs, tables, and all that. It was like set up like church. So I felt like preach. And so like, it was like, man, you had kids raising their hands. You had kids shouting out what they're forgiven. Like, I'm forgiven. Like just on their own, dude. And it was so cool. And for her to be there and just be present, be able to do ministry with family. Like we do it in the church. We've done it in the church our whole lives. But to take it outside the church, man, that's pretty dope.
To do it at our alma mater.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Hail to thee, dear. Okay, sorry.
Oh.
Catholic high school. All right. Anyway.
Do you know the whole thing?
Oh, do I? I had to write it a lot.
Would they make you write that on the chalkboard when you got in trouble?
No, just paper. And then like I had a teacher, if you would write it and it would be going down, they're like, Carpe diem, you need to have a positive life. So I'm like, oh, all right, cool, thanks. So yeah.
Wow.
Forever.
That's awesome.
But also, I know we got a few moments like this year we've done Fields of Faith. After Fields of Faith, we always follow up with our youth pastors the next day and have stories. And Brittany, you had a story of a certain young lady that you met that just kind of, I think it took you back to your dream of being on your high school campus, in the end zone, on the field of your dream of showing you on your campus and not knowing why you're there. But it kind of lets you recollect and go back to reminisce of, oh, shoot, I used to be this kid.
Yeah.
So if you could share that story with us, that'd be,
so
it was pretty emotional, but it was awesome at the same time.
Do we have like, how much time do we have left?
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Okay, cool.
We got like 20 minutes.
I wouldn't have asked.
Okay. So it's also like a good, like God sets everything in motion and he orders our steps down to the minute. We were doing a church fundraiser yard sale. We were trying to find a place to do it. We were going to do it at my mom's house. Mom said no. I was cutting some people's hair from church that day and me and her were talking and she was like, well, your mom said no. And I was like, what? I'll talk to her. Hold on. And so after that, I was just going to get my kids, go home, get ready, come back to town. Cause I live 20 minutes outside of town. And I called Mom. I said, why can't we do the yard sale at your house? Well, there's nowhere to put anything. I said, okay, well, what if we come help you clean out your den that you can't do by yourself? Then we can store stuff in there. She's like, okay, that'll work. And I was like, all right, cool. So I go to Mom's house. I'm like, I'm not going home. I'm going to start in this room. And I'm taking pictures of what all we have to do. I found a notebook. I start looking through it. It's my notebook. And it was from like 2009. I graduated in 2008. And I was really struggling with myself. Like, I was like, whew. I read it and I'm bawling. And my mom was like, I know, I read it. I was like, how dare you go through my things? No.
That I left at your house.
Right. But, but it was all about like, I don't like the person I've become. I've strayed so far away from God. Like, I don't even notice myself when I look in the mirror. I can't believe the things that I've done, that I've come to. Like, why did I make these choices? God has to be disappointed in me. I know my Heavenly Father's just upset, but he wasn't, he just wants to hold you tight. And that was just, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I'm so glad I've come so far from that person. And like, I have like the confidence in my faith and in myself about when I mess up, I don't miss the mark, So later on that night at FCA, Fields of Faith.
Same day, bro.
Same day. I mean, 2 hours before. And I shouldn't have been there. Wouldn't have been doing that if I wouldn't have cut those kids' hair and their mom wouldn't have been talking to me. They do the prayer. And so we go to the end zone. And I only got to pray with one girl because we were talking the whole time. And she comes up to me and it's the same story. She's like, I don't like who I've become. I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to be closer to God. I was just telling my mom the other day, I don't recognize myself. And I was just like, and it didn't even register in my head, but I spoke into her like with authority. And I was like, I've been here before. I've stood in this end zone before. Like, this was my high school. I've been you. I was you. Like, and those thoughts of you not being worthy, those are a lie from Satan, because you are worthy.
Yeah.
You are God's masterpiece, and you can keep moving forward. You know, and so we had a really good moment. She was crying. I was crying.
Did
We
you
were
share
holding
with her
each
the
other.
letter?
No,
Like,
because it
Because
didn't
it didn't cross
register
your
to
mind.
me.
But you were prepared for it.
But God put that in my
Yeah.
heart.
Wow.
And like, I was just able to be with her and let her know she was not alone in that. And it was just like this amazing moment. And I called my mom on the way home from church, and I was like telling her about it. I was like, and I read that letter at your house today. And I think that's why.
100%.
And it was just amazing.
And I think that's cool. Like you said, God orders every minute of every
Mm-hmm.
second. Like, we have to read the signs. Like we said it in the past, the answer to everything we got's in the Bible, the basic instructions before leaving earth. And God's like, hey, hey, hey. And so many times we get in the way and I'm out of the way. Like, what do you got from me, God? And it's in those moments for us to say, you are going to order my steps and I'm going to follow, because we have that choice. You could have looked at that and been upset, been mad, like, yeah, this was my history. I don't want nothing about it. And not finish reading it. But you've determined to read it, and it sets you up for success, because I believe everything that we allow God to do through us isn't just for us, a reminder for where he's brought us from, but it's for the next person. And so that's why I love doing ministry.
Yeah.
And I've also shared that letter with a friend whose kid is struggling with stuff too since then. So
yeah. It's crazy. We've talked about it on this podcast before, but number one, the struggle and the pain that's caused in students' lives because they don't know who they are, who God has called them to be.
Right.
Identity is an incredible stronghold that the devil tries to use to twist and morph and change everything that God said is good about us. He tries to twist it and shift it and turn it into something has nothing to do with how God created us to be, how God made us to be, how God calls us to be in our lives. And that's something that I see a lot of students struggle with on a day-to-day basis. But it's also no mistake that God uses those things and turns them for his glory.
Yeah, man.
It's just so cool to think about that. Just this last week, I was speaking at a youth retreat and was diving into, I think it's Matthew chapter 22, where it talks about Jesus gives the two greatest commands. It's love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind. And the second one is like it, love your neighbor like yourself. And I said, to start with loving your neighbor, you have to start by loving yourself. If you can't love yourself, then you don't love God's creation.
Right.
His creation is beautiful. He made it beautifully and wonderfully. That's what it says in his word. That's exactly how he made each and every single one of us. And as I asked those students to raise their hands and say, who in here would say that they love themselves? And they would shot up their hands for a few other questions in there, but it wasn't so quick to raise up their hands in that moment. And I was in the middle of talking, and it didn't really register with me until afterwards, thinking, you know, how many of them in there, and I've been there myself, of do I really love myself, or do I have so much pride in my life to just shoot my hand up and say, oh, I love myself and this and that? That's the other, like, that's like the
Or am I
pastor's kid
so
thought.
worried what other people think that I focus on how much they love me than I focus on how much I love myself?
Absolutely. Rather than, there's not so much communicated about just having confidence in who you are and the gifts and abilities that the Lord has given you. That's something, especially in athletics, that I know a lot of athletes face, whether it's a confidence issue or whether it's too much confidence issue of we need to tone that back and learn a little humility, or whether it's simply just you have gifts and abilities, you have worth, you just don't know where it comes from.
Right.
You just don't know the entirety of who God's created you to be. All that to say, there's such an epidemic of lack of self-worth in our public schools today. And I see that all the time. It's in our youth groups, it's in anywhere you go. And it doesn't just start with the students. It starts with the generation before them and the generation before them. Of there are adults in our world who still struggle with the same things because they don't see the value in what they do or who God has called them to. I love that in your story that you have come from a minister's home to working in a secular workplace that I personally, this is like getting off on a tangent, but I personally love going to get my hair cut. Number one, because I like to get my hair cut. It's nice to get a fresh haircut. But two, I love talking to the people that are cutting my hair because it's like, this is just a free conversation that you get to invest into someone's life and vice versa. Yeah. I've had barbers and hairstylists who would do the same thing of they're asking me questions like, oh man, you're in trouble if I sit down in your seat because you're going to get asked question after question because I want to know you. I want to take the 30 minutes and I plan for my haircuts to take longer because I want them to really know and understand that, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to get to, I desire to do that more. How do you see that play out in your day-to-day life with conversations you have with clients? I'm sure there's some that test your patience and that drive you up a wall because we all have those people in our lives and that's just as real.
That's why she fired me. I'm just kidding.
Right. Yeah. Just kidding. Go see somebody else.
How do you feel like you have opportunities within what you're doing to be able to speak into and encourage people?
I have so much opportunity. I mean, I have so many different kinds of people that sit in my chair. And I do on my little station, I have a thing that says it's a good day to serve God. It might say praise God. Something. It's a good day to love Jesus. And so, and I also have these little Jesuses, you know, those ones that
of course.
One of my clients brought me a handful, so I put them up there, and all the kids take them, and I'm like, you can have them. Yeah. I did have a client yesterday.
You're giving Jesus to people.
He's 3, and he was like, "Where's Jesus?" And I was like, "Oh, he's
right here."
Yeah. Well, I need to get more. I guess.
Let's pray.
So it was cute, but I have spoken into people a lot more. And being the youngest child of a ministry child, that was something I struggled with a lot because the devil would use that, like, look at your brothers. They're both pastors. Your dad, he's a pastor, you know? Awesome. Yeah, they're in a position. Like, and like he would hold that against me a lot, but you know, it was hard. I was trying to like fill in the gap there, but I get to do something completely different. And like,
what was so cool, full circle, you will call me, message me, talking a lot. Hey, I just spoke to so-and-so and their kid comes and says that you lead them in the huddle and they look forward to it every week and blah, 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 blah.
What was that last week?
Yeah. I mean, it's all the time. And it's cool. And then it leads into conversations with the parents about what we're talking to their kids about, how they've noticed a difference in their child just because we're on the campus. And man, when you live it out, I mean, it's part of your lifestyle, but you share the positives. So many times I was talking to somebody earlier, well, a business owner, you do 10 things right. Cool. You're supposed to, you do one thing wrong, people hold it against you. And so I want to be that person. Like when you go get your hair done, that person knows they can come and talk to you spiritually, mentally about anything. And so that's just kind of cool. But Brittany, she reaches out with a lot of stories of miracle stories.
Yeah. Thanksgiving, I was telling him about someone's hair I had just done. And I was like, I asked if her kid goes to FCA and they're like, oh, I don't know about that. And so I kind of told them about it. And then a week or two later, he's in our family group. Hey, pray.
Me is in the family group, not the kid.
Him, my brother is in the family group message.
My family, my brother.
Saying, hey, I just had this opportunity with FCA. Like someone reached out. Their friend's kid is wondering about God and he's asking questions and they want to get him someone to speak with. And Josh was messaging back and they said the name. And I was like, that was the one. I was like, that's the person I was telling about FCA. Wow. I was like, I couldn't remember who it was because I saw a lot of people that week, but it was that person. And
I was able to reach out and be like, hey, I want to meet with the family. I want to talk to them about Jesus. I want to talk to the kid about Jesus. And she was like, oh. Like, it's just, God will use us to plant seeds, but he also uses us to water those seeds. And sometimes as those people grow, it's because of our faithfulness. And that's what, being a PK, like, it's not the easiest, but our parents did it right. Look at a lot of other PKs. They ain't in the church. They ain't serving God. And all three of us are, worship team, leading kids church, youth pastors, youth sponsors, connect group leaders, like everything. And so like props to our parents, so for that, even though we may have gave them a hard time, especially some of us, but it's fine.
Rebel.
It's fine. God is good.
It's cool to see how, the body of Christ operates in a space of like just working within the community together.
Mhm.
Amen, bro.
That is like so important for what we're trying to do. Obviously, you guys are related, like grown up together and know each other well, but the connections that we have in our
Mhm.
community to be able to leverage relationships,
Yeah.
leverage opportunities for the gospel are some of the most impactful things that we can do tangibly on a day-to-day basis. I asked you that question to say that and encourage anyone who is in a secular workplace, anyone who's in a ministry workplace. It doesn't
Mhm.
matter who you are or
Right.
what you're doing. The call is to go and make disciples. So whatever we're doing, whether we work at a church, if you work at a church, the call isn't just to work in the building, it's to go
Total
work
opposite of
and
that.
serve
Yes.
with the
Mhm.
church,
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the people who make up the body of Christ.
Right.
And that's the same thing for us as FCA. I
Mhm.
can get to doing administrative tasks and working on this and
Yeah.
working on that I'm like, I got to get out and be with students this week.
Yeah.
Like that is like should be my first and foremost priority of what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
here is like everything else will get done, but the
Mhm.
relationships matter more than anything that I can do in this job and in this avenue. So for anyone who is in that situation or saying, I don't really know what I can do. Do you have conversations with people in the break room? Do you have conversations with people on a day-to-day basis out doing this or doing that? Like then you have leverage to be able to impact people. It just takes a little bit of boldness and courage. You got something, Josh?
Well, it's just going back to how we were talking about starting huddles and getting people involved and how it all pans out. And if you go on our last episode, we talked about DeWitt getting started that last week. It was supposed to happen this Tuesday. For some reason, I couldn't go because I was getting windows put in. I'm just gonna be honest. And so I reached out to the coach. He's like, "Yeah, I got it." Well, couldn't find out it was like a field trip day. So man, he's leading today, and he's texting me while we're on this. It's awesome. So we had a youth pastor in the town say, "Hey, we want this on our campus." She set everything up. We had luncheon. All these people training over Christmas break with 16 students showing up. And the coach is just so excited to text. He's like, "Hey man, we just finished up with high school the other day. They did it now today. Man, we just did junior high. First one ever. We had 70 students here." And then the youth pastor goes, "Man, coach brought it today." So it's like a youth pastor empowering a coach who we've made connections with, and it's full circle. So now you have a community youth pastor in one church. This coach goes to another church, preaching the gospel to 70 kids today. Coach brought it with being a good teammate, a good friend, and he used a scripture about how Jesus brought his friend, the paralyzed man, how the friends brought their guy to Jesus. And so, man, like it's just full circle. Like that's almost 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And God's doing work because people are hungry for a move of God, and they have a volunteer in the community who's like, "Hey, I want this."
Yeah.
And we're going to make it happen. If you can be here or not, that's our goal, is for coaches and youth pastors and people in the community to say, "Hey, we got this." So for 70 students' lives being packed today, bro, on one campus.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed too, is the importance of when we get volunteers into those spaces is like the volunteers oftentimes will have so much more leverage with specific teams, with specific schools. If it's like, "Oh yeah, I've just been rooted here for 30, 40 years. Like I went to high school here." Like, well, let's use you then because you have like, I would say the same thing if someone was asking about my home school.
That's
like
I works for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like this like makes sense. Why would we not leverage this for the kingdom? Yeah, that's so good. We're running down to the last few minutes here of our time together. I just kind of want to end this with an encouragement to those who are struggling with who they are and who God's called them to be, or B, who know who they are and who God's called them to be, but are lacking discernment or the direction, maybe less of discernment, more direction of where that is that God has called them to be. Brittany, if you could just give us some encouragement to end this for anyone who's struggling. I know you've kind of shared your story with direction, with purpose, with who they are and who God has called them to be. What would be just some encouragement that you would give them moving forward with wherever they're at?
Right. So being back on campus and with that dream and stuff, it really just made me think, like, I want to tell people, like, it starts now. Don't wait till you're out there and you're an adult. And then, like, God is planting things in you right now. And you are his vessel. Like, and God chose us. We're his masterpiece. But
So good.
me going back to campus, that's just it's been in my head. Like all those years ago, I wouldn't have thought, he would have led me back there. But here I am.
Yeah.
And I get to pray over kids. I do another club with Webb, and I got to pray over like 100 girls.
Yeah.
In my library that I went to school in.
Yeah.
And it's awesome because one of the librarians was my roommate.
Yeah.
And then the girl who leads this club went to kindergarten with her. And it's just like, it's real full circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's real awesome. And I just hope that the students' lives that we're impacting are listening and like with open hearts, and we can really help them through the times that they're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely. That's so good. I need that encouragement every single day to just show up, to just go, to just do it.
What's your word for the year, Zach?
It's go.
Huh.
Go.
My word for the year is go, because it's something I struggle with sometimes. It's, I got to think logistically about this and that, when really it's about, man, God, you've called me to this, so I'm just going to walk today. I'm just going to start moving in that direction.
Amen.
I don't want to be Jonah running from Nineveh, right? I want to just have boots on the ground and get going. So that's so good. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on today. Like we said, 52 minutes goes by quick when you're talking about what you're passionate about.
It
So
was awesome.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for being on, Brittany, and Josh, as always, bringing little sis on to share to share her story and to share all that God's doing within and through Cabot and all of our schools. So thanks for joining us on Beyond the Huddle, the Central Arkansas FCA podcast where faith meets competition. We will see you again next week.
Love you. Bye. That is so like have to show you're saying this.
What?
Yeah.
Side of your face. That's fine.